What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with another video on the MonsterVerse. As we know, Godzilla X Kong 3 or Godzilla X Kong the sequel is now officially in the works, with David Callahan penning the script, most likely be done by the end of this year. Most likely could film it next year. Probably going to make a 2026 or 2027 release date, hopefully. But where does the MonsterVerse go from here? Because the fact they're changing the director because Adam Wingard is busy with an A24 project is very telling and very fitting. So, if you are new around here, what the hell are you doing? Make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, pop culture based content that I try to deliver on a daily basis. You could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know down below, where should they go with the MonsterVerse? Because I know everyone's going to throw Destroyer, but you can't really do Destroyer yet. Space Godzilla, I've been fanboying over that character for such a long time that we may actually get him one day. So if you could, become a channel member for less than it really helps keep the channel lights on. And I do appreciate it. Also, if you could, follow me on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And if you could, follow on Twitter, WarstuG. So, without questionable doubt, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire is the second biggest movie of the year for Legendary Pictures, not Warner Bros, because Warner Bros are just distributor. The same with Dune Part 2. That's the biggest movie of the year, which again is Legendary's movie. So, whatever the plot is going forward with Godzilla X Kong, Legendary do it. Warner Bros. Is just a distributor and ensure they finance a part of it. So when certain articles come out and call it a Warner Bros. Movie, it's like, truly the distributor, it's a Legendary project. So, $564 million. So, this franchise is very popular and very successful, but it's not close to peaking yet. As we know, it started in 2014 with the Godzilla movie, then followed up with Kong Skull Island, then followed up with Godzilla King of the Monsters, then followed up with Godzilla versus Kong, which really wasn't a fight because realistically, sure, they had a fight, but it was about taking out Mecha Godzilla, and then it followed up with this year's movie, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. So, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire is their actual biggest movie now, globally as a total, and according to the numbers.com, which is quite reliable source, box office numbers, it's very close to beating the domestic for Godzilla, which is $5 million away. But since it's on digital download now and on demand for like £20 on Amazon Prime in the UK, I don't think it's going to beat it, although it is still at the box office. So we know they are pushing forward with the movie being Godzilla X Kong sequel or Godzilla X Kong 3, which is freaking cool. Personally, I read the comments and a lot of people would prefer a solo Kong movie and a solo Godzilla movie. We know we're getting a season 2 for the Monarch TV show, and we know because they teased Kong right at the end, it has kind of been unofficially confirmed. You don't need to be a scooper to realize there's a reason they showed Kong right at the end of the season. We're going to see a little bit more of Kong, but realistically, we didn't see much of Godzilla throughout that whole TV series, being the first season, and it was still pretty cool. So, a lot of people will scream, Destroyer, Destroyer, destroy all monsters. Okay, cool. We've had Oxygen Destroyer teased since the King of the Monsters movie, if you like. Technically, he's been teased. Oxygen Destroyer was a weapon used for mass destruction, essentially to kill Godzilla. Interesting. So, if they are going to use that premise that this created Destroyer, then this would be like the doomsday of the DC universe with Superman. So, the problem with Destroyer is that freaking powerful that Godzilla and Kong combined could not defeat him at all. I honestly do not, even if you bring Shimo in, even if you bring Mothra in, etc., I don't believe that would be the case. And in order to get Destroyer, I know Adam Wingard mentioned like motivations of Destroyer versus Godzilla, so on and so forth, but he's not actually directing the next movie. So everything he said post Godzilla X Kong coming out is kind of irrelevant now. But a lot of people want Destroyer, me included, but Destroyer is kind of like the Destroy All Monsters movie. He's like the Thanos of the MonsterVerse. So if they are going to play this, and if they have got a plan to turn this into a proper cinematic universe, which they are kind of already doing with a connected universe with the Monarch TV show as well, is they should tease Destroyer, kind of like Thanos was teased at the Avengers post-credit scene, and then it was a real slow burner until he appeared. I don't know how they would pull that off, but that would be interesting. But I don't believe Destroyer is a good villain, because that's like we're gonna reboot the whole franchise, we're gonna bring a new Godzilla in and a bunch of new kaiju in. Obviously, Legendary Destroyer would have to buy the license to use any other kaiju that they don't already have an agreement with. Sure, we get that, but they've made a lot of money, so it wouldn't be hard to bring Destroyer in. So a couple of, maybe like a month or so ago, maybe longer, I've been talking about Space Godzilla for the longest time ever, and a lot of other people in the MonsterVerse community seem to dislike me because I said Space Godzilla was supposed to be the actual villain of Godzilla X Kong the Empire, and I basically said that Shimo was their version of Space Godzilla. I still stand by that, but technically she's just a female Godzilla, if you want to say that, or the Ice Godzilla, if you want to go down that road. So we have the cave painting, and it looks like a flying Godzilla and Space Godzilla, essentially. At the start, confirmed. And that video did quite well for me, but I honestly think if they are going to go darker, more gritty with the next movie, which I don't believe they will, in the sense that they're not going to make it an R-rated, because the general audience is still going to be teenagers, child audience, if you like, because of merchandise sales, so on and so forth. But they can do Space Godzilla without going crazy dark to the point where they've got to make it an R-rated movie. Is Mecha Godzilla was a very good villain, sure. Scar King was weak as hell. I really understand why they used Scar King. I get it. It was more of like, you know, toxic kind of, oh, he's a threat because he tortured them. I get it. I mean, it was a good movie. I just was a little bit disappointed by Scar King and Shimo. I get it. Shimo was the hype train, and your boy Warstu hyped the into Shimo. Shimo was OP, but we didn't really get to see much of Shimo. So if they are going to go down this route of doing what they did for Godzilla, but do it like the way they did it for Kong in the previous movie, being Godzilla X Kong, then they would have to introduce a powerful villain. Now, I get it. People would troll me about the fact that I made a video saying that Space Godzilla would be the villain of said movie that turned out to be Godzilla X Kong and the Empire, and a load of huge pop culture websites picked it up and ran with it, even though the whole prerequisite of that was I was just reporting a Reddit plot leak I came across. I made it clear, but people don't actually read the title properly, or they don't listen to the context and the prerequisite of everything what I say. But I honestly think the only route they can really go down in the sequel would have to be Space Godzilla, because they're not going to bring in, and I've mentioned this way before anyone else, they're not going to bring in a Mecha Ghidorah or a Mecha King Ghidorah or a Gargan or King Caesar, but King Caesar isn't really a villain. So the only realistically villain they could bring in to redeem themselves, because let's be honest, Scar King was freaking weak as hell, is Space Godzilla. And Space Godzilla ate the star. Space Godzilla is on the cave painting, like I've told you. So as far as I'm concerned, and this is not me saying I've heard anything, because it's way too early for your boy Warstu to hear things, but when I made that video over a month ago saying Space Godzilla confirmed to ate the star, I'm pretty sure he did. I know a lot of people want Destroyer, but it is way too early for Destroyer. Really is. So likewise, guys, let us know what you think about this video. Make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Kaiju MonsterVerse pop culture based content. Follow us on Instagram at Warstu, and I will catch you in another video, guys, very soon. Catch you later.